Hello, hello, testing. Hi. Hi, Rojak. Hi, Mike. Hello. I hope you all had a good day yesterday or a good night's sleep. I am now nervous because of what you said, Rojak. What do you mean someone may not come back? What do you mean someone may not come home? I just want all of my gray ravens to be okay. But I'm also now remembering that the Strike Hawks and Cerberus teams are also down there. I don't want any of them to die either, so now I'm worried. I motivated Alpha. Hello. I guess the only way I can find out whether or not these characters survive Lucem or not is by playing. So let's just get to it. Let's just go. Let me close this. Start PGR. The song. Okay, it's a little too loud on my end. Let me lower it. Okay, let's go. Let's just... Nope, not this one. Oh, by the way, I already did the affection story, but you know, as usual, I skipped everything because I didn't wanna... I skipped everything that I could skip because I don't want to spoil myself too much. But there was a scene where Helentine basically like confesses to the commandant. That one I couldn't skip, but that's the only part that I actually watched. Everything else I skipped. Hi there. Hello. See you later in the stream. Also, this chapter is peak. All right. Okay, motivated alpha. I believe you. Oh, you hate Valentine? I thought everyone was loving the new free character. Okay, all right. I guess she's not for everyone then. Oh, I didn't realize. Wait, project. Why is disconnecting to these two? Okay, let's see. From where we last left off, everything was depressing. Everyone has lost hope. There's a child with a dog. Let's go. There's also a pregnant lady. Nightfall descends upon Earth once more. Liv steps out of the room where the two commandants are resting and looks out at the landscape outside the basement. What can I do to make my commandant regain consciousness? Dim moonlight covers the scarred earth in a veil of peace, obscuring the mountains of death for those still wandering out in the wilderness. That's a big moon. I think I read somewhere that actually the moon like gets farther from us with each rotation. So like it gets, I think, like a few centimeters away from us every year or something, and eventually the moon will just, you know, spiral away from our orbit. Eventually, not in our lifetimes, but eventually. You're able to complete the whole relic set thing for your characters because you haven't played HSR. Oh, alright. You had like a lot of energy. I see. Yeah, that's usually what happens if you haven't played a game in a while. They give you so much stuff. You don't hate her, you have zero feelings, just like her head. There's not a thought in that skull. Well, she is goth. They're not really known for feelings. If time wasn't a measure of how long the explorers had left, it wouldn't be important for those hiding in the enclosed basement of the conservation area. Here, the reference for measuring minutes and seconds is no longer a clock, but a sense of hunger. Not everyone. Okay, go have fun, motivated alpha. Have fun. Doing whatever it is. When most people would go to sleep according to their biological clock, the constructs protecting the conservation area in City 043 still haven't begun to rest. I've heard of people, like maybe one of you guys live in these places where basically you go for weeks without any sunlight. So, like, I don't know how I would fare in a place like that. Even if it's like a place where the sun is always up, like in Amphorius. I don't know, I think a part of my body relies on the, you know, sunset and sunrise more than I think. Even though my like sleep schedule is never consistent, never, you know, healthy, I still kind of rely on the sun to let me know when I should or shouldn't be up. So like, I don't know, imagining going through life, even if it is just for a few weeks, without the sun going up or down, just seems like it would drive me crazy. When most people would go to sleep according to their... Okay, they are either guarding the conservation area outside or still on rescue missions, and Liv is no exception. Today, the new rescue team brought several injured refugees. Although they should have been happy to find new survivors, the increasingly scarce supplies make it impossible for them to celebrate. She wants to do something, but there's nothing she can do. She wants to speak with others, but her listeners have gone their separate ways. Yeah, Lee and Lucia are probably busy getting all the supplies that's running out now, right? Before her regret can condense into a needle stabbing into her chest, she carefully weaves it into her diary. As Mungdal once said, we take the moon and we take the sun. Hi, Spirit. Hello. Welcome back. Oh, we get a glimpse of Liv's diary. Intensive care patient record. Lindsay. Oh no, this isn't a diary. This is more like a patient journal. 21 years old. Fell from height, open fracture, skin damage to open wound and skin exposing broken bone. Ew. Pneumothorax, ruptured spleen, ruptured liver, septic shock. Medical history, nil. Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of these guys, we don't have anyone's medical history, huh? CPR performed, return of spontaneous circulation, in urgent need of AB blood, splenectomy, and liver repair. However, such complicated surgeries cannot be performed in the current environment. Is there really nothing we can do? When Miss Lindsay was brought in, she was in critical condition. I heard she fell from a high-rise building trying to protect her partner. Thanks to her, Miss Jin only had minor injuries on her left hand and ankle, but her blood type did not match Miss Lindsay's and could not be used for transfusion. All she could do was pray by her side. How? I'm guessing, well, Liv is a support type construct, so I guess maybe there's some software or something in her that can help her differentiate between blood types quickly. As a medic myself, I know I shouldn't believe in illusory concepts like destiny or God. Still, I hope for a miracle. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. I also heard like there's such a thing as like tissue types. So like, you know, if your tissue isn't compatible with the patients, so let's say like if you want to donate your kidney, but the tissue of your kidneys like isn't compatible with the patient, then you can't do it. It'll just hurt the patient in the long run. The moon. I would love to see these countries without sun in summer. It's not in summer, I think. I think it's like during the dead of winter or something, like right in the middle of winter. I think the places are called Svalbard, and I think in Alaska as well they go through something like that, but I could be wrong. I don't live in those places, so I may be getting this totally wrong. Gru's headed better, not gonna lie. Gru also had a lot of minions. Mungdal only had chowder. Intensive care patient record. Is there really... Oh. Miss Lindsay was rescued at noon, but she was seriously wounded. It seemed unreasonable to try to save a seriously injured patient with such a lack of materials because it would only prolong her pain and would not change the outcome. Yeah, back to the depressing stuff, huh? Different tissues compatibility issue. Okay, so it is a real thing. I wouldn't know. I've never donated or had to have a donation. What's it called? Organ donations before. I also haven't done blood donations. I think the doctor said like I'm too skinny or something. But also I'm scared of needles, so that also keeps me from donating blood. But I saw Miss Lindsay's desire and struggle in her eyes. Whenever she slightly regained consciousness, she would be looking for her partner. Whenever she found her, she would open her trembling mouth as if to say something. She must have something she wants to say. That's why she worked so hard to do so. So I did my best to give her first aid. Her chances were slim, but I still hoped that a miracle could happen. After recording Lindsay's treatment, she quietly stares at her diary for a long time as she tries to find any potential opportunity from the limited content to make a better effort to save her life or reduce her pain. However, all possible opportunities for recovery are like stones sinking into a deep pool, leaving ripples of regret at the surface as she is unable to shake the difficulty of such a feat. Scared of needles like Goku? That puts you in Goku level ripoff. I wouldn't know if Goku was scared of needles, honestly. I don't remember much from Dragon Ball, and I haven't watched much of Dragon Ball. Your blood is harmful to humans. Okay, yeah. That could also be it. That could also be like the doctors the nice way for the doctor to just say, "Oh no, your blood attacks other people's blood. You can't donate." But this doesn't cause Liv to give up hope. She continues to search, contemplating her experiences over the past few days and searching between the lines to find something that she can do. Mr. Lister. Oh, wait. No, I missed that. I didn't read the one back there. Wait, actually. Yeah, if I missed that, then I can just watch it again. Why did they put that as part of the picture and not part of the dialogue so I can review it again? Okay, let's see. We went through Lindsay, 21, and then Mr. Lister. Choso, Toxic Blood. I haven't seen one IRL. Oh yeah, Choso from Jujutsu Kaisen. Have we gotten to... I don't remember how far the anime has gotten, but have we gotten to the part where something happens to Choso? If not, then I won't say anything more. Okay, here it is. Lister, 37 years old. Abdomen injury caused by hetero creature attack. Acute renal injury. Severe punishing infection. Festering wound. Unconscious most of the time. If there are any like med students or like medical professionals in the chat right now, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of this. Medical history. Post-polio syndrome. Oh, they still had polio? Scoliosis, right foot pronation, prolonged malnutrition, maintain fluid resuscitation, and keep checking for infection. His blood contains toxic percentages of garlic bread. Choso ain't there yet. Okay, not yet. I think I heard somewhere that garlic is actually good for your blood and your heart. Could be wrong though. But you know, if you do eat a lot of garlic, maybe that means you have better blood than people. Maybe that's why your blood is toxic, Rojak. You're not getting enough garlic. Everything in 2026. Let's go. You need a split then to eat garlic bread. This hurt beats. I don't know much about Mr. Lister. He was just transferred from City 042 yesterday. I only know that he hates sweet flavored cookies. All cookies are sweet flavored. Mr. Lister, what you talking about? And that he wakes up at 2 to 4 a.m. in the morning and cries. Oh, you don't need to record that he cries. When we evacuated CPF 040, we believed that there was still time to rescue others. So many teams were with us. There was a chance for the situation to get better. There was hope. But as time went on, more and more lives were lost, like remnant memories of the past. The seeds of hunger and sickness began to sprout within the survivors. A prolonged future no longer brought joy. Instead, it has rather turned into a hotbed for incubating suffering and torture. That dialogue and stuff for this chapter has just been so depressing. That means you're Wario. It's a me, Mario. Gonna go eat now. Bye. Bye. Go eat. Go have some garlic bread. Last Leah, 21 years old. Left leg fracture, fell from height. Hemopneumothorax, medium punishing infection, multiple ulcerations in lower extremities, still conscious. Medical history. Infection-induced cardiac tamponade. Emergency treatment has been performed, but a surgery cannot be performed due to lack of equipment. Keep draining and checking for infection. Suffering from severe, intolerable chest pain. We are running low on painkillers. Miss Lasia loves her bunny plush. It was left behind by her late sister. Like how Lucia likes the frog. Talking about it can reduce her pain slightly. I hope she gets well soon. And I hope Commandant can wake up soon. Why are you writing about Commandant in another patient's records? Come on, Liv. Callie, 79 years old. Stage 4 gastric cardia cancer. Esophageal cancer. Severe edema. Light punishing infection. Soybean allergy. Oh, Liv, you're working non-stop, huh? There's only something I can do. You're already doing a lot now, Liv. Ah, my poor Liv. I told the old man his condition as he asked. After learning the news, he has not eaten anything for 3 days. He's had nothing but water since then. Did I really do the right thing? Hanata, 47 years old, mine age. Oh, construct. Attacked in the middle of a rescue mission. Inward device damaged. Multiple broken bones throughout the body. Large area of artificial skin burned. The current supplies available aren't able to fix Mr. Kanata's broken bones. He must turn off the pain module to enter hibernation in order to avoid mind deviation. However, when he has to vacate the sleeping pod for someone else, he needs to reactive the pain module temporarily. Think they mean reactivate? He doesn't show it on his face, but I know the pain must be excruciating. Mr. Kanata looked furious when Lucia brought him back. He kept saying that he should die in battle instead of becoming a burden, but Lucia told him being injured isn't a burden, giving up is. He stopped arguing after hearing that. Yeah. If you could still somehow help the others, then you would definitely be less of a burden. Commandant would probably say the same. I really hope Commandant can wake up soon. Again, mentioning Commandant in another patient's logs. Nagayuki, 17 years old, mine age, another construct. Attacked in the middle of a rescue mission. Inward device damaged. Left side limbs completely destroyed. Unstable mind. Her mind instability needs Vanessa's help. Oh, right. Since we are passed out now in a coma, that means Vanessa is basically the only other person who can help stabilize the other construct, huh? Unless they have another commandant helping out that they haven't mentioned. All infection symptoms have disappeared, but our available supplies cannot repair her inward device. Often show signs of mind instability due to damage to left side limbs. Miss Nagayuki lost all her teammates in the rescue mission. Apart from the damage in the frame, her mind was also seriously damaged. I hope there's something I can do for her. She likes music. There are a few musicians among the refugees, and their songs can calm her down a little. Unfortunately, they can't help but are scared by her wounds. They're scared of someone else's wounds? Then boy, musicians, you are in the wrong place. This place is full of wounded. I can only put her in the room next to the musicians for now. Akane, 12 years old, severe punishing infection, multiple traumatic wounds on the back. Medical history, bipolar disorder. Apart from her injuries, Akane's extreme mood swings are also the main reason I put her under the intensive care. There are no medicines that can treat her disorder within the conservation area. Many also hold a lot of prejudice against her attitudes. Yeah, that's another thing, huh? If you're someone who needs medicine, often, either because of mental or physical medical needs, then yeah, how are you gonna get those medicines, those drugs during the apocalypse, huh? Because I don't think they would prioritize making those medicines when, people are dying, when the world has ended. What would you give for a woman to talk about you in patient logs of other people? Probably not a lot, honestly. I wouldn't want someone so unprofessional to mention me in their professional lives like that, because that feels kind of invasive. She must stay away from the hostile voices, but there is not enough space for her to stay alone in the basement. I am currently putting her next to Miss Nagayuki. They're getting along well so far, but I must watch them carefully. She likes Lazia's bunny. Sometimes she even takes it away without telling Lazia, then suddenly unleashes her rage on it. Don't unleash your rage on the bunny. The bun did nothing wrong. I promised her that I would make her an identical bunny once I got the required materials. Jane, 51 years old, hit on the head while protecting supplies and her children. Traumatic brain injury, currently in a coma. Oh, is she next to me? Is she lying down in a bed next to me? Her children are unable to provide further information. Her symptoms are similar to those of Commandant's. Okay, here it makes sense to mention the Commandant, in another coma patient's logs. That makes sense. Both suffer from bleeding and coma caused by traumatic injuries. Likewise, she's also unable to wake up. Lee found 3 lifeless bodies during his search. Next to the bodies, he also found some supplies that seemed to belong to Miss Jane and her children. There weren't a lot of supplies, but Lee handed the supplies to her children anyway. Weapons cannot bring privilege to anyone in this cruel world. We must unite. Bach, 19 years old. Both legs amputated due to hetero creature attack. Multiple stab wounds on the back. Severe punishing infection. The stumps are ulcerated and unable to heal. Anemia. penicillin allergy. The lack of painkillers makes him suffer from enormous pain from ulcerations and sterilization. Thanks to the serum, his infection seems to be healing. Mr. Bach is a very optimistic person. He would force himself to laugh even when the pain becomes intolerable. His friends are all very proud of him, but he passed away. The wounds on his back caused tetanus. His friends buried him on the hill behind the conservation area. I'm so sorry. If only I could pay a little more attention. If only we had more supplies. But there are no ifs. I'm sorry. Orphe, 45 years old. Multiple tears in chest and abdomen caused by hetero creature attacks. Severe punishing infection and abdomen ulceration. Prolonged malnutrition, anemia. Dysfunctional uterine bleeding. She was already in hemorrhagic shock before the surgery. Thanks to blood donors, we were able to save her from death. However, her wounds weren't healing well and require intensive care. Miss Orphe is a nurse in City 043's conservation area. She's been through many rescue missions. Despite her injuries, she kept comforting me as I changed her dressings. She told me not to lose my courage even after witnessing many deaths, and that I should not be disappointed in myself even after I failed to save someone. We must let go of our remorse and embrace the future, so we won't have new regrets. I never confided in her, but she read me like an open book. Yeah, from one nurse to another, from one medical professional to another. I guess she gets it. Micro, hello! Hi, welcome! Hope you've been well since yesterday. Miss Orphe passed away. She saved many people in City 043's conservation area. They voluntarily hosted her funeral. She smiled and said thank you to them on her dying bed before closing her eyes. On the night prior to the blast from the Longinus Arsenal, the staff and residents of City 043's conservation area planned to evacuate south to City 044. During the evacuation, their team was attacked by hetero creatures and had to return to stay with Grey Raven, which had arrived later. Everyone who stays in City 043's conservation area owes their thanks to the residents. Without them, there would be no rescue shelter, and Liv wouldn't have been able to remove the Commandant's hematoma. But she still wouldn't be able to save Orphe's life. Even if you hold the precious water of life in your palm without a container, you can only watch as it drips from your grasp until it dries up. The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at a standstill and balanced. She has seen those who look down on life and death, as well as their calm expressions of indifference. But Liv cannot do it. She chose the more cumbersome path. During countless helpless nights, she's let silent tears burn her wounds and pain, giving her motivation to work harder to build a better tomorrow. Would you all rather have all the correct relics and build for every character you get, or always win 50-50? Ooh! Oh, good question. I mean, yeah, I think I'd rather have all of the correct relics and builds, I guess. I would rather have great maxed out characters instead of all the characters I want, because I think, even the characters I don't want, they can be good if they're, maxed out, if they're all really well built. If it really happens so that together they come, it would be her motivation to tip the scales and achieve happiness. Constructs have a stronger ability to fight and survive than humans. However, they cannot survive this forsaken catastrophe alone. Yeah, choose the correct relic. The punishing virus, casualties of war, insufficient maintenance chambers and power, unrepairable frames. Aside from these obvious dilemmas, the hearts of constructs will never waver, just from a change of frames. Despite not having wounds, Lucia tightly clenches her blade among the crowd. Even Lee, a construct of few words, has become even more reticent. Aside from discussing rescues and missions, he remains silent for most of the day. In PTR, you get both. No need to choose. You get both if you pull in the fate banner. With the birth of the twins and the impact of the hetero hive mother, Grey Raven has been unable to move about freely. Without the Commandant, the 3 people here would be among the list of names engraved on the monument. But when Vanessa learned about the Commandant's actions, she only sneered at it. Regardless of how much you contribute while you're alive, you're worthless when you're dead. Saying this, her eyes revealed some indescribable haze, like that of anger or sadness. Vanessa feels bad for us? Really? That Vanessa? Pulana, 13 years old, acute hepatic failure caused by consumption of Amanita verna. Light punishing infection, occasional coma and convulsion. Occasional coma? Okay. We don't have any medication for acute hepatic failure. Lucia is going to another conservation area to seek assistance. Without medication, I'm afraid he won't survive another 3 days. But the other conservation area also has a patient suffering from acute hepatic failure. Commandant still cannot take any food. We're also running low on the fluid used for parenteral nutrition. What should I do? You do like that this chapter shows what the lack of protagonist does to a world like this. It's interesting. Oh, so everything went to shit because the protagonist is in a coma? That's it? You guys can't survive 1 day without me. No need for fate. We don't have the 50-50 in this game. Looking at the list of critically wounded on the last page, Liv becomes lost in thought. There are only 11 critically wounded because most of the others could not make it to the moment when rescue came. The 13-year-old boy, Pulana, passed away the night before yesterday. However, his name is still on the record because Liv has been too busy to update it. Liv had heard the refugees laughing a while ago. Poisonous mushrooms will cause you to hallucinate. You'll see all sorts of crazy things. You should try it if you get the chance. Liv warned them not to try them just to see some crazy hallucinations. Ha! They want to do shrooms. Because the only thing that would happen is liver failure. What does it matter if we die of hunger or die from being poisoned? Might as well go out having fun. That is the cruel reality. The possibility of an excruciating death from hallucinogenic mushrooms has become seen as a peaceful death. Is that why you ate them, Pulana? It's meaningless to ask questions about the deceased. Liv shakes her head and shifts her attention back to the list of supplies. Let's see. Non-life-threatening but require extra care during evacuation. Bronte, left leg oblique fracture. Sawyer, ankle tendon rupture. Samson, pelvic fracture. Gus, left foot laceration. Aspirin allergy. Catherine, vision lost in both eyes. Cockle, knee joint comminuted fracture. Anna, gastrointestinal bleeding fever. This is why I can never be a doctor. Bertha, left leg amputation last year, wound closed, no prosthetic leg. Hoyle, severe anemia, low blood sugar. Joan, pelvic fracture, P1PK blood group. If any of these are your guys' names and I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. Yamashina, sprained ankle, left hand fracture. Mo, left thigh stab wound. Dao, medium punishing infection, ulcerations in both legs. Brian, photosensitivity. Moam, medium punishing infection, ulceration developed in left leg tendon. Strong, hydroperitoneum. Wood, spine injury, attention, peanut allergy. Sapir, lower extremities, atherosclerosis. Adera, severe arthritis. Not my arthritis. Yeah, go charge your phone, Mike. If Fane were here, he'd keep watching the stream until his phone was at 2%. The lives and well-being of the refugees hinges on this list, but no matter how many times she checks it, the supply shortage won't miraculously get any better. Having a name, Cockle. Hi, Deceitful Hound, welcome. I mean, it could be, a name for someone out there. Don't make fun of Cockle before you've even met Cockle. Oh, there's more. Ed, right-sided heart failure. Jayale, multiple traumatic wounds caused by hetero creature attack. Holt, right abdomen penetrated by hetero creature attack. Edison, loss of vision caused by hetero creature attack. Emerson, left leg amputation caused by hetero creature attack. Dick accidentally stepped into red tide while wearing only a basic protective suit. Both legs also raided. Sassoon, left calf tendon rupture caused by hetero creature attack. Al, pneumonia, recurrent fevers. Lena, reduced mobility due to age. Kashin, punishing infection, leg ulceration. Even now, the Commandant's life hangs in the balance. Even though she only administers the minimal electrolyte compound required, there are only enough supplies for 2 more days. So, in 2 days, the Commandant might die. Hey, Doctor! A call from within the basement interrupts Liv's thoughts. She puts down the records and hurries in the direction of the sound. Hey, Doc. What's up, Doc? I think I heard Akane crying. Can you check up on her? Okay, thank you for telling me. She nods and quickens her pace towards Akane and Nagayuki's room. Akane. Miss Liv. Throwing herself in Liv's arms, Akane lets out a muffled cry in the comfort of Liv. Quiet as it is, Akane's cry makes its way through the basement, stirring up empathy from the other refugees. Faced with the mounting disaster, everyone is nothing but rubble amidst the rising flood of despair, leaving no hope for retreat. If Babylonia's next rescue attempt is futile, what will happen to the Commandant and the people stranded here? Liv held the crying Akane and puts her hand on her aching chest. If there's anything I can do. She desperately awaits good news, hoping that she can have the power to end everyone's suffering, but time and again she is hopeless in changing reality. Liv pats her on the back and sings an old song to alleviate the despair hanging in the air. I'll become the wind's gaze. Countless nights and days chasing your wake around the lake, just stay a little longer. Is this an actual song? I want to know. Or is that the song that for this chapter, you know? Because that song has lyrics. It's in Japanese though, so I don't really know what it says. What song are you singing, Miss Liv? Oh, it's a song from a long time ago. Everyone would sing it in the field hospital. That song, I've heard it before. The man with the guitar squeezes through the door. He shivers at the sight of Nagayuki deep asleep, but quickly recovers his expression and sits down beside Akane and Liv. I remember a composer during the post-pandemic age wrote it to commemorate their friends, but the song became a hit because so many people had lost their families and friends. That's so. The older generation sings it for comfort. How about I teach it to you, Akane? What do you say? I want Miss Liv to teach it to me. She doesn't want him to teach it to her. Like, I don't like you. I like Liv. Alright, then I'll teach it to her first. He strums a few chords on his guitar and begins to sing the first verse. Oh, I remember. That's it. Hey, what brings you in here playing your guitar? Hey! The sound of Chuck's guitar attracts several musicians from the room next door. They crowd in one by one and look at the people in the isolation ward with curiosity and fear. Wonder if they treat KSI song as a historical record for artists to avoid doing. I wonder if, yeah, maybe songs like, was... Oh my god, I don't remember the title. I just remember the first line. Somebody once told me. That song. What if that song eventually becomes like a relic of the past? Something that can help people remember the good times. Something that people in the distant future will look to as like a sign of hope. Just playing a song with the doctor. Wanna join in? Alright, can you sing? Of course the doctor can sing. All-Star! That's the name of the song! I forgot the name of the song. Yeah, All-Star! Sing, Miss Liv. Don't be afraid, la la la. Open your heart and let the music flow out. Alright. Playing music might not fix anything, but getting your feelings off your chest is better than holding them in. We'll sing instead of crying, la la la. Okay. Although she is a bit unsure of herself, she takes a deep breath and begins to sing. I wonder if there are any constructs who, as humans... Yeah, it is the chapter song. What was I saying? I wonder if there are any constructs who, when they were human, they were like tone deaf. Do they still carry that tone deafness as constructs, I wonder? Smash Mouth makes great song. Yeah, song, as in just one. Don't compare a statue to Indonesia's current economic stability. Did we listen to the whole thing? I mean, I hear it every time I go to the main menu, so... Oh, I think this is an acoustic version. It's different from the version that plays during the main menu. This is cool. Okay, so the lyrics for this song really is the song that plays for this chapter. So if I press next, will it stop? Nope, it's still going. As Liv sings, the other musicians drum the rhythm with their hands, followed by Chuck's guitar. It's a mind thing, so most likely. Hearing the singing, Nagayuki opens her eyes and listens to the singing as she checks that her wounds are covered. Like the wind's gaze, oh fallen friends. This song of mourning sings the wounds in everyone's heart. Akane listens to the song and wipes her tears as she sits beside Nakayuki's bed. Even you still don't know how mental ages work in this game since they never increase in their bio for some reason. I'm guessing it's kind of like how, they do get more mature, maybe, because there's no way all of the trauma that they go through doesn't leave a scar in their minds, doesn't affect them at all. So I think they do still get mature, but maybe they don't update the mind thing, the mind ages in their logs because they want the constructs to remember what age they stopped being human, maybe? It's Liv's voice actor singing. Ah, okay. So I'm guessing it's her Japanese voice actor then? That's nice that they got the voice actress to sing it. Entranced in the music, the musicians don't notice the crowd of curious eyes gathering behind them. Longing for the past, they enjoy the music in silence. We are the scattered souls beside the round lake of life. If our paths could cross again, we could reunite once more. I think it's because they forgot to change it, honestly. Oh, it's just a dev error. Even though we've changed, even as the sun or evening wind, your familiar yet mysterious shadow must also believe that we will meet again. Believe this is only a momentary parting. Robots don't age, they're not humans. Those are called activation dates, different from their original birthdays. Yeah, I think maybe the ages, they leave it as that. One could be because the devs don't really feel like updating it, and also maybe just to remind the constructs that they're not, that they're not gonna get any older from that age anymore. You understand if it's a physical thing, but mental age genuinely confuses you. Like the amount of life-changing experiences doesn't increase at all. How do you calculate the mental age, How do you decide whether or not Lucia's trauma makes her older than, let's say, Lee's mental age because he doesn't have as much trauma, maybe? As her voice fades, Liv finally notices the crowd standing around her as everyone erupts in applause. I like that we can also hear the crowd in the background, even if the picture doesn't really, reflect what's going on. That sure brings back memories. I didn't think anyone could sing. You guys have a group of musicians and none of you can sing? Well, we don't want to waste such a rare opportunity. Let's teach everyone to sing. 17-year-olds nowadays are doing 6/7s. What? Speed, bark, and spam. I don't know what any of those mean. I know TikTok. That's it. That just proves that I'm not 17 no more. Don't the wounded need to rest? Oh, we get to see her. I'm okay. I want to listen to everyone sing too. Me too. We'll sing instead of crying. La la la. Liv is a bard confirmed. Inspection of City 045 and 044 complete. I didn't recover any supplies, but I found a field of mature wheat in the ruins. At noon the next day, Lucia takes a heavy bag and squeezes through the sealed door with the other constructs. You've worked hard, everyone. Get some rest in the chambers. You should get some rest as well, Lucia. They wave and walk to a room on the left side of the basement, leaving the 3 Grey Ravens at the door. You shouldn't want to know. It's for the better. Okay. Alright, I will protect my peace of mind by not knowing. This chapter was one of the darkest as well. What do you mean, one of the darkest? You mean it gets darker from here? I also asked about the medicine you requested, but they didn't have any in stock. What about the other areas? I checked, but the other conservation areas are worse off than us. We just had another critically wounded refugee join us, if this keeps up any longer. In the current situation, taking supplies from anyone else would make no difference to the status quo. Sorry. Lucia... She grabs Lucia's hand and shakes her head. It's okay. In this situation, we can't save everyone. You trying to comfort yourself or Lucia when you say that, Liv? Liv comforts Lucia slowly and painfully, like treading across water laden with thorns. We can only do our best. Sure. Here, I found some of the cloth and cotton you requested earlier. Thanks. Aside from this, there's also some not so good news. Which chapter are you on now? It's very calm. It's very dark. The conservation area at City 044 was ambushed by a horde of hetero creatures. I heard that from the refugees that just arrived. What happened? Some hetero creatures learned to attack as a group and began attacking where people gathered. We stayed there for a whole day before they could get rid of all the hetero creatures. Parts of the conservation area were damaged, leaving only one construct to repair the CPF and evacuate the refugees gathering there. It looks like there are fewer and fewer temporary refugees. Twins are still at City 041, which puts us in danger. Yeah, City 041 don't sound that far from City 040. If these rescue missions from Babylonia keep failing, we'd better prepare an evacuation plan just in case. You should have prepared an evacuation plan earlier. Come on, guys. Oh, you're already at Lucia Pyro's chapter, which is still very, very, very far from me. Hey, chilling user, hello, welcome back. It's been a while. Hope you've been well. Welcome to what's apparently one of the most depressing chapters of PGR. Thanks for not calling you VMA. Hey, Sticks, you're back. Now, there are more people gathered in this conservation area than in any other places, which poses an issue for evacuation. There are a few targets left that can be destroyed traveling north along the west coast. We'll be defenseless if we're attacked by either the twins or a horde of hetero creatures. I wonder if they'll have to, leave some people behind if they do evacuate. I think that's how the show, the zombie show started, right? What was it called? Walking Dead? Living Dead, I think. That's how it started, right? Our main protagonist woke up from a coma in the apocalypse because he was left behind because, apocalypse. That's special for spirit only, right? Yeah, only spirit calls him VMA. If these rescue missions from Babylonia keep failing, the three stand silently at the door to this hypothetical question. No one dares to open it and reveal what awaits. At first, the team stayed on the surface to help those in the same situation, while also giving the Commandant some time to heal. They believed that there was still a ray of life in the dark depths. They believed the enemy could be defeated, that people would survive, and that the Commandant would return to the team. But these expectations, struggles, and prayers had no impact on the growing sense of despair. I don't remember anyone calling you just by your username after Spirit called you VMA. It's just, shorter. It's a nickname. It's too early to give up. We need to believe in Babylon. Right as she says believe, she suddenly lowers her head with a somber expression, as if remembering some painful memory, then trails off. Yeah, she's remembering what happened last time she believed in Babylonia. Lucia? It's nothing. Just that if they continue to use the same tactics for conducting rescue missions, it'll only lead to more deaths. Perhaps they just need some time to adjust their tactics. Lucia solemnly looks at the nearby room, the room where the Grey Raven Commandant remains resting in a coma. I'm in a coma, but we should still be prepared. Once rescue... Wow, what's in the heavy sack? A refugee with keen eyes spots the rice brought back by Lucia and cries out in surprise. Isn't it wheat? Unless you can make rice out of wheat, I wouldn't know. I found this rice in some ruins. We're going to make porridge tonight. Woohoo! Queena, get your pot! This sack of rice is enough to feed all 100 of us. There's 100 of them at least, huh? She remembers the reason this Lucia exists. She remembers why she exists. Since the constructs don't have any organic parts, doesn't that mean they're just advanced robots with human memories planted into them? The original humans died during surgery. Apparently, they technically have souls, I think. Maybe. Because if it's just memories, right, then they should, theoretically easily be able to recall the constructs, but they can't. So I think that means that they do have, some aspect of a soul in the constructs, maybe. Off topic in PGR, who did you pick in the free agent of ZZZ? I want Soldier Zero NB. Since they're not giving me a free Harumasa yet, I still haven't gotten a Harumasa. Since they refuse to give me a Harumasa, then I want Soldier Zero NB. I want NB, please. Please and thank you. Hey, Spirit. Welcome. Fine, thank you. Wish you were a bird. It's just more like humans without retaining biology. They're still humans from the mind. Yeah, I think some aspect of their original mind, their original soul or personality is in the constructs, and that's why something like a recall is so hard to do. I'm not sure if our Lucia and Nanami and yeah, I think just those two. I'm not sure if those two um really count since Nanami was never a human and our Lucia is kind of like a copy of another construct. But I'd like to believe that they also have souls. Far in the story. Okay, just gotta be patient. You will know later. And Mike is also back. Hello, welcome back. His shouting gets the attention of those around him. We'll all stand up in surprise. Hey, the doggo! That's great. Looks like we're getting porridge tonight. Finally, some good news. Fawn is alive. Congratulations. Fill your dark soul with light. Nanami, ultimate spectacular. Nanamin, want me to help make it? There shouldn't be an extra stove in the storage up top. There should be an extra stove in the storage up top. Ours is out of gas. We just gotta bring it down here. Do you guys not have like induction cookers? You know, the ones that don't run on gas? Okay, I'll go get it. It's a crime for them to rerun Harumasa with Dialin and Yuzuha. Yeah, they should just give it the Harumasa for free! For free! I don't think chapter 17 is the darkest. It's still okay compared to what's coming later. That's what I'm worried about. You guys say it's only one of the darkest. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light. Who's this doggy? It's a doggy that one of the refugees brought yesterday. How far exactly? You're at chapter 31. That's definitely farther than I am. Actually, I think I'm halfway to chapter 31 at this point, so not that far. I'll also collect some purified rainwater. It's been raining non-stop the past few days, so there should be more than enough water. Then the rest of us will sit here and rub the rice ears with our hands to remove the husks. Huh? This ain't no rice. You can tell just by the sack. Besides, the constructs had to fight to bring it. Are you too lazy to help them prepare it? You're the boss, we'll do as you say. Bootlicking Queena, you only ever listen to the leader. Shut up, all you do is gossip. Oh, look at the porridge. Everyone begins to engage in joyous conversation as everyone lines up to take strands of rice and begins husking them in every corner of the base. It's been a while since you continued reading the story. Think you should reread the chapters and interlude. Nice, you're very close then. Yeah, I think the latest chapter is chapter 54? 55 or something, right? So, Jair, you're definitely closer to the end than I am. Yate Zero envy. That ending to her story was so bad. Better not remembering my ass. I mean, it's her choice. I definitely would have preferred if she stayed sisters with Soldier 11. But, yeah, it's both of their choices. And Soldier 11 also has memory problems, so I think she might eventually forget Anby all on her own anyway. You've done ERs too, but you don't remember much from them. It's been 2 months since you played story. Oh, I thought you were catching up with all the stories that you missed, Motivated Alpha. Shortly after, the water, purifier, and cooking implements are ready. Everyone puts the husked rice into water for it to be filtered and then set to boil over the fire. Only an old man is left holding rice. He stands up weakly and attempts to address the crowd, but his feeble voice fails to garner anyone's attention. Mr. Kelly, what's wrong? Since being diagnosed with cancer, he's refused to eat. Do you all agree, F Meta? Who is the Soldier 11 you speak of? From ZZZ, you know, the one that's constantly forgotten by the story. That's Soldier 11. It's not her choice, it's 11's choice. That's just selfish. PDR isn't the only game I play. I know you play other gacha games, Deceitful Hound. It's not a baller yet. So the new gen says, it's such a good interlude, but now you dislike her and 11. Yeah, the story was really good, huh? And they like made a really big deal when they released her. Like, I think she had more fanfare over her release, more marketing compared to Billy. S-Rank Billy did, Starlight Billy. So, yeah, I kind of did wish she got a happier ending to her character story. No meta, no new character, no new story. Ah, that's why. I mean, I prefer getting new story even if I don't get new meta. But yeah, I feel like if they don't add new meta, then that does mean that there won't be new stories as much, huh? Usually the meta and the new characters are tied into the story. Can I hold on to this? Of course, it's meant for everyone to eat. Not eat, just save. He shouts with all his strength, but only intermittent syllables come out of his lips. He was already malnourished before refusing to eat. Now he's more like a candle in the wind, as if he would go out at any moment. Of course, these days the old man gave his own food or the food he could get to others. This was his only request. Liv has no reason to refuse. Oh, she can't even force him to eat, huh? Skip all characters all the time, don't care about meta. Think many can be replaced by all. Meta this, meta that. Have you ever met a freaking girl? You came to this game for Virgil only. You only pull for characters you like. Yeah, I think it's best if you don't care for meta. You'll definitely be more peaceful that way. But the game devs definitely have to care about meta, you know, just to keep the game relevant and stuff. Hotline Miami, it's cheap when it's on a discount. You've been marketing that game for basically since the first day you joined my streams, I think. The game is still on, huh? She doesn't understand why, but seeing him struggling to speak, she refrains from asking any more questions. She just helps him sit beside the bed next to his wife. Hotline Miami guy is back. Pro play for Virgil. He's a candle, Rojak. No, no, don't blow it. Don't blow the old man. You miss Virgil. I missed Virgil too. You just realize it. Missed Virgil, then played for Alpha. Go play it. I will, maybe, someday. Who knows, if I remember. Thank you, young lady. My legs aren't what they used to be. I told him not to stand, but he's as stubborn as a mule. Has great music. Hell yeah. The elderly couple sits together holding their rice, looking happily at the crowd gathered around the large pot. The embers in their eyes, which were extinguished by despair and rain, ignited once more. People danced among the steam, dispelling their depression over the past few days. The sobbing that echoed throughout the basement had stopped. The bedridden people slowly opened their eyes to catch rays of light in their dim vision. Sparta twins think you would have quit the game. Got SS Virgil and S Dante. Don't question your motives. I won't question your motives. I don't think motivated alpha would question your motives either. He's marketing Hotline Miami everywhere. It's an impressive dedication. In this dark world, everyone gathers together to watch the small portable stove and the large cooking pot as they waft the delicious smell of rice porridge. I know that rice isn't seasoned. I know they don't have black pepper or salt with them. But yeah, just having some porridge has gotta be, like, a relief, right? Should be hired by the studio. He's a Hotline Miami shill! Got every item from the collab. Oh, the radical joke. You already said that joke last time, Mike. Don't think I forgot. Studio with 2 people. And you're one of those people with the way you're marketing it. You're gonna go to store to buy the bread and not find it. Why not buy the key? About time. You know what else is radical? I don't want to know what else is radical. If hope were to manifest itself, this would surely be the embodiment of it. Oh? Who is this question mark that's just staying silent? Liv notices that the woman who'd been guarding her husband stands up from beside her, joins the crowd, and looks forlornly into the flame of the gas stove. Miss Jin. Sure. Oh, have we seen this NPC design before? I don't think so. Was the beginning of your Fate Banner journey. You're the only one who pulls out the Fate Banner. On Steam now. Damn. You're still just marketing it. She tries to squeeze out a polite smile but fails. Lindsay just woke up. She wanted to try some porridge and told me to join the others, but right after that, she... Oh. She bites her lower lip as tears begin to trickle onto the floor. Aw. Just like you said, she won't make it through the night. Germany is radical. Okay, well. Hashtag not sponsored. You always lurk in the shadows, but what shadows do you lurk in if there are no shadows? Miss Jin, you look fine as hell. Miss Jin is heartbroken. Her girlfriend just died. Just like you said, she won't make it through the night. Her sobbing becomes louder and louder. The people around her gradually quiet down as they're brought back to cold reality. Some people can't endure this moment, others can't endure the next. Some people say that the hospital walls have heard more repentance and prayer than churches. Yeah, I'd believe that. I'd believe that a hospital would have heard more prayer than churches. But no matter how hard one prays in front of a life that is lost, the outcome won't change. Why did she want to sacrifice herself to protect me? I might as well join her. Liv approaches Jin and holds her trembling hands. But she knows that even if she manages to comfort Jin, the situation won't change for the crowd. Jin Kazama? I don't know who that is. Sorry. Got you a new original one. Hi, Pot and News. Okay, well, moving on. Faced with parting life, words of comfort are far too shallow. When survivors laugh around the campfire, they can't forget the shadows behind them. Light and shadow go hand in hand. If someone dies, it means someone will be saved. If a person, especially a doctor, cannot calmly face the parting between life and death, it means that they will drown in their own regret one day. But Liv knows that she cannot learn how to face the situation with reason alone. You know what else has a triangular shape? Phineas from Phineas and Ferb? Once upon a time, an otherwise outgoing professor said this with a rare sigh. Oh, I don't think we've ever seen this NPC design either. Optimism, calmness, indifference to life and death, these all help persuade ourselves, but we can't force others to maintain a positive outlook. Why is there no GIF system here? I don't know, man. Bring it up to YouTube. You should have done Go Get a Stardust Ball. Don't deprive others of the right to be sad nor discourage them to grieve, because persuasion is always more useful than force. Especially you, Liv. I know you can't learn how to remain emotionless when treating lives that cannot be saved, so that's why I'm telling you this. How much longer PGR can keep you interested to stay installed in your PC? I mean, you've got an alpha, photo, what's it called? Profile picture. You got an alpha profile picture, and your name is Motivated Alpha, so I think PGR's got you in its grip. For a while, at least. Hey, Miss Editor! Ita, hello! Welcome back! Hi! I was about to call you and ask you about how you felt about the whole lad situation. I just recently found out about the whole love and deep space drama, and I was gonna call you and ask you what you thought about it. I might just call you after this, just to see how you're hanging in there. Yeah, I haven't seen any regular show, so I don't know what my mom thing is referring to. The only people you know in this stream are Spirit, Mike, Rod, and that Wesley guy, though you haven't seen him in a while. And Sticks, of course. I mean, I'm sure the people who watched regular show would understand Mike. I've never watched it, though. Where did that come from, Alpha? Did you hate the Pyros chapter? You'd be surprised. Is Pyros chapter supposed to be good or supposed to be bad? I hope you can allow yourself to be sad and use this accumulated regret as motivation to save those you can. This is also a kind of comfort for those who cannot be comforted. Persuasion is always more useful than force, but how can I... When she looks up, Liv sees Chuck and his guitar suggesting something to Liv. Should we sing instead of cry? He nods, then closes his eyes and begins to strum his guitar. It's been heck. You're taking your husband. Yeah, I don't. I'll call you after the stream. You can rant and rave to me about what's happening, with lads later. Apparently I heard that they even brought up this situation to the Chinese government and stuff. The stuff I heard has been wild. I'm not sure how much of it has been true though. Like 50% of the Pyro chapter. It's one of the best you played. Someone somehow rated it low. You don't think we're playing PGR then? Okay, so the Pyros chapter is considered peak. Shortly after, the other musicians follow his lead and join in. In the crowd, those who have learned this song begin to sing along with the music. Life is like a round lake along the path we take, running with the birds playing in the dirt. I walk on, but where have you gone? Hearing everyone sing, Liv faintly smiles and joins them. I'll become the wind's gaze countless nights and days. chasing your wake around the lake. Just stay a little longer, don't walk away so somber. That song, ... It's a nice song. If only the Commandant was awake to hear it. I don't know, I've heard that people in comas can actually, like, hear stuff that, that other people say to them. Maybe not, like, completely understand what they're hearing, but, you know, they would not react, but, like, they would somehow retain what they heard from a coma. I wouldn't know anyway, because I've never been in a coma. Have fun. I will. I'll call you later, okay? Bye. Take care. Pyro chapter is the best bias issue, baby. You're very sad after it. If the future doesn't hold anything worth it to me, is it worth chasing the future? You hated Pyro chapter? It's Shakespeare ass doing his shit today. You know what else is better than Pyro chapter? Pyro itself. There's 3 chapters that are agreed to be peak. Chapter 17, 21, and Pyro. Oh, so I'm already at peak. I'm at the top. It's a nice song. If only the Commandant was awake to hear it. We'll just have Liv sing it again when the Commandant wakes up. He says Hotline Miami. God damn it. Okay, when that time comes, we can all sing together. I'll pass. I think there was one stream where the Seafool Hound basically listed out all the names of all the people who've worked on Hotline Miami. I have a feeling that that's gonna be happening again very soon. I think the Commandant wants to hear you sing. The music and hot porridge warms the hearts of the despondent crowd as they join in the chorus and clap along. They find solace in the melancholic lyrics rather than rely on false hope. They use the song to unload their grievances and shed tears, leaving only faint echoes of their cries. See what I say? Playing music might not fix anything, but getting your feelings off your chest is better than holding them in. Chapter 26, Chapter 27, Spiral of Chronos, Chapter 21. All chapters are peak, except Shukra chapter is Elad's chapter. The rest are all peak. You're hating Polaris Bond? More solid than I thought, holy shit. Polaris Bond? Which one is that? Finally someone that can read. Because Spiral of Chronos was so good. You'll go now. Bye, Motivated Alpha. Take care. Polaris Bond was mid. Playing music might not fix anything, but getting your feelings off your chest is better than holding them in. That song. Listening to the song, the old man's lips begin to tremble and his eyes brim with tears. Is Polaris Bond a chapter that I've already done and I just forgot about it because of how mid it is? Or is it a chapter that I'm gonna get to soon? What's wrong? He's fine. An old man like him, he's probably just thinking about the past. As people get older, some things become more clear, regardless of the song or a sacrifice. She shivers and lights a precious rolled cigarette as her eyes sink into memories. This is... Ma'am, this is a hospital. Don't you be lighting that cigarette here. Oh, wait. During the Golden Age, livestock and farmland were run by machines. After the meltdown of the zero-point reactor, food sources were cut off. Dog, you're not special. Everyone hates Polaris Bond. Look at the Discord users over there. You've seen people like it. No, I'll do it later. Okay. And somehow they love Wintry Shackles. So many chapters that I should and should not be looking forward to, huh? After a long time, it was difficult for people to take up farming and raising livestock, but some people managed to do it. Not many people were able to, while also fighting the corrupted. People talked about taking seeds back to find safe places to plant crops. Listen to me, gaslighting exists. It's most likely people doing that. But once there wasn't any corrupted, people desperate for food came to seize all of our hard work. She raises her hardened gaze and looks around at the refugees sitting in the basement. Just like the Great Winter Famine in the historical records, there was no stable yield of food for a long time. People could only take what they could get their hands on. Without livestock or produce, we resorted to eating birds and mice. And squirrels. People even scavenged in areas with hordes of corrupted, but few returned. So people began to breed something that they could raise quickly and that others hated. She takes out the half-remaining rolled cigarette and draws something about 4 centimeters in length with her hands. She doesn't say what it was, but everyone understands what she meant. What does she mean? Eh? But there wasn't much left to feed those pesky insects, so they couldn't raise enough to be made into protein blocks like the movies in the Golden Age. Oh, is it cockroaches? Is that what she's talking about? They ate cockroaches, huh? This is what happens to a world without garlic. Polaris Bond is one of the longest chapters in this game. It's basically Season 2 of CZZ without voice acting and longer. CZZ taking stray shots. Couldn't even read it properly. And normally, people wouldn't have touched them, but worse came to worse, even those were taken. If this went unchecked, we would have filled our stomachs with everything and there wouldn't be anything left. So rules were made and spread through word of mouth. Seeds must be left behind. Offspring and fish eggs are not to be eaten. Plant roots must remain in the soil. Pregnant animals and their food are not to be disturbed unless there is an emergency. I think that's also the rule for, for farming and agriculture these days, right? Like, if you catch a fish that's filled with fish eggs or something, you're supposed to let it go. Or, like, if you catch, what's it called? Lobsters and stuff that you see that has eggs, you gotta let that go too. I'm pretty sure that's a rule. Once people begin to abide by these rules, we noticed some improvement. Animals could be seen in the mountains and forests, and seedlings sprout in areas that were harvested. Haven't played ZZZ in a year and a half. I mean, so far, the very, very, very first early parts of Season 3 has been good. 3.0, I think, was a great setup chapter for what's to come, and 3.1 was okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it's just so far with the very, very limited content that we've gotten, I feel like season 3 is definitely not as bad as season 2. It's fine. It's not bad. But yeah, it could be better. Hopefully, it will be as good as Season 1. It doesn't feel as good as Season 1 so far. But yeah, hopefully it will be better. Eventually. 1,000 people suffered fatal injuries. Somehow they made the greatest Hikari remix to Polaris Bond. And unfortunately, they gave it to Polaris Bond. You'll take any appropriately to take hits at Yesheng Guang. Okay, alright, yeah, I know that the Yesheng Guang chapters were not a lot of people's favorites. I like Guang Guang, I think she's cute. But yeah, she's kind of, she's very obviously created as a love interest first and a character second. It helped us get through our darkest time. The old folks who lived through that era still remember it. But the disaster didn't spare us. It only got worse every day. Sometimes people break the rules when they can no longer take the hunger. And once the rules are broken, rules are meant to be broken. Those that suffer have no choice but to do the same. That's when we met Cheese. We didn't know his real name, but that's what he was eating when we saw him. Cheese was so rare at the time, that's what we decided to call him. She takes a deep drag. Don't light cigarettes and smoke inside. Well, it's not a hospital, but around sick people, please. Ash rolls down her fingers, but she doesn't seem to mind. She just sighs in the thick cloud of smoke. Nothing I'm proud of. We thought he was well off seeing him eat cheese next to a field he lived by. We wish ZZZ was bold enough to end marriage because he will return. Make sure New Erud will no longer have a population issue once you're done with Bernice. I don't think they ever had a population issue, to be honest. That old geezer snuck into his field to steal food for us to eat, but didn't leave him any seeds. Cheese and his wife barely made it through the winter, but the baby in her belly didn't make it. The first time we heard this song was when he was kneeling in his empty field, holding his wife who'd fainted from crying as he sang to her. We didn't have the heart to go up and confess that what we'd done. We sent him some supplies, but they moved away shortly after. Since then, we've had the habit of leaving seeds everywhere we eat. Even if no one cares about this rule, we can't break it ourselves. Even though the conservation area have already been built, there's still room to raise crops and livestock there. But as you've all seen, this stuff won't last very many days if anything bad happens. She shakes her head, then snuffs out her cigarette. Well, enough of me rambling about these trifles of the past. The porridge should be ready now. Let's dig in. Yeah! The refugees who'd already become too preoccupied with thoughts of the long-awaited porridge to listen to her story suddenly spring to life. Make it what? It's been 2 years, damn it! New Eridu is still new. It's not old Eridu yet. It needs longer to be old. I mean, look at New York. It's been around for decades at this point, and it's still New York. Surprised by excitement, the constructs resting in the nearby room walk out. Let's start serving everyone. Sure. Everyone, form a line. No need to push and shove. Got it. Everyone grabs a spoon and lines up, holding their own tableware containers enthusiastically, paying extra attention that they received their fair share. Jin holds the porridge carefully, salutes the construct soldiers, and Liv then returns to Lindsay's bed. Old Callie, having not eaten for 3 days, takes a bite out of his wife's porridge under her persuasion. Stanley, Shrek, I forgot about you. Fantine, everyone except for the wounded who are still unconscious gets a bowl of warm porridge. The heat from the bowl in their hands warms their spirit as people sit down and enjoy this rare delicacy. Liv, while the crowd is distracted by their meal, Lucia calls Liv aside in a low voice. Yes? Come with me. Come with me if you want to live. That was all one node? It's been over an hour. Okay, well, I gotta pay more attention to the story instead of reading chat. Oh my god. Alright, I gotta drink. No wonder my mouth feels so dry. Okay. In the dark room, Vanessa is stirring her porridge in her cup with an exquisite coffee spoon. The Commandant is lying on the bed next to her, still unconscious. What's wrong? Surprised I'm eating porridge from a cup? I don't think that's the bit she's surprised about. I think she's just surprised that you haven't strangled me in my sleep. I know it's not exactly my style, but I like to make the best of things when a situation is out of my control. I'm sure you've realized by now, Babylonia's cut off aid. What? Liv had obviously been too busy taking care of everyone to realize this fact. Since the last rescue operation failed, if you ask them about their next operation or their change in tactics, they always give a vague response. They're also not providing regular contact. Whenever I contact them, they just give the same response. Lucia also got the same response too. What is the response? It's nothing too unusual. They've just postponed support operations to this area for the time being. They've done this in the past. It's just the first time I've experienced it. Guess your indifference means you've all been mentally prepared for this. Looks like we're on our own for now. I mean, I would have assumed they would have stopped a long time ago. You know, considering the fact that they lost 700 ships trying to get us back. You would have assumed they would have stopped at 100. Potential Commandant. I want to know what that means, but I'm sure I'll find out in the future. Yeah, it's unrealistic to expect to be rescued under these circumstances. I'd do the same if I were in charge. It's the only logical solution. Aside from that, there's some good news and bad news. The good news is, even though Babylonia has cut off support, they haven't blocked my access to GPS intel. Bad news is, based on this GPS intel, the unidentified twins have entered City 042. What are you guys gonna do? Our location is dangerous. With our numbers, we'll suffer losses if we run into any hostile encounters. I want to disperse the 164 people gathered into several teams, which is more conducive to action. But what about the people who can't move, you know, like the Commandant? We've had some more refugees join over the past few days. We now have 172 people and a dog, but that doesn't include us and the Commandant. Hold on, I want to drink some more. My throat is so dry. Alright, back. We're already at 172 people. Decentralization is definitely conducive to dealing with emergencies, but it'll take more time to retreat. We better get ready immediately. On the way, we also need to deal with 3 problems: high punishing concentration, lack of food and energy, and hetero creature attacks. Protective gear can protect us against the punishing concentration. We don't have enough for everyone, but we can move them in waves. The second problem is difficult to solve. All we can do is move slowly. As for the third problem, we'll just have to defend it with everyone. Where can we move everyone? The safe zones just adjacent to City 043, City 046, 044, and 045. Just call them hetero twins, damn it, game. Why complicate simple names? Just call them the twins. I mean, that's definitely shorter. We just came from City 045. Their conservation area is already full after taking in refugees from City 044. And personnel from City 046 were evacuated after their CPF was damaged, so it's been vacant for some time. The CPF has since been repaired, but is quite the distance from here. Not to mention, the people living there aren't exactly accepting of outsiders. No, that's an understatement, and it'll lead to inaccurate danger assessment. There are a group of armed scavengers that'll attack and rob outsiders. Ah. Well, I guess we're not going there. City 044 is completely empty, but CPF still hasn't been repaired. Hetero creatures have swarmed the perimeter, so they may converge into the red tide at any moment. Okay, not going there either. Looks like there isn't any ideal location. Are you going to find a place for them to live and work in peace? It's the next step to investigate whether the soil is suitable for agriculture. She gracefully eats a spoonful of her porridge, then laughs sardonically. Just find a refuge for them to hold out for the time being. Wait for the twins to leave City 043, then return and repair the damaged buildings. The world will be used up no matter how big it is, as long as they keep treading toward the unknown. If the Commandant was conscious right now, I'm sure the Commandant would resort to the same guerrilla tactics. You think you know her? Vanessa sets down her spoon and just laughs coldly at Lee. Actually, I don't remember what gender I set my Commandant to. I think it's a her. Let's temporarily divide the crowd into 3 groups for evacuation. Those who can move freely will wear protective gear and follow the safety route. We'll plan to bypass the potential battle zone where the red tide may converge and proceed to City 044. I think they missed a dot here, somewhere. 2 constructs will act as guards. While en route, the refugees should refrain from removing their protective gear. They will return once safe living conditions are confirmed in City 044. Understood. We'll have some of the wounded take supplies to City 045. While I searched the area, I found a warehouse with a small filtering device. The conditions are poor, but people can survive there with some simple protection. Protection? What? Simple protection. For the 3rd team, we'll take the Commandant, Vanessa, Bambinada, and the rest of the wounded to City 046. Regardless of how hostile they are to outsiders, they can't do much against the constructs. That sure was quick. I expect nothing less from the chief. This may solve the problems caused by the threat of insufficient materials and the twins. See, she calls them the twins. But that doesn't cover everything, don't you know? Constructs need to protect the refugees from hetero creatures while in transit. Some of the wounded will need to be transported out. Humans will need protective gear, but we don't have enough for each person. That means the group going to City 046 will be unprotected. Correct, but there's one more thing. We can't avoid casualties along the way. I hope you've seen your fair share of hardship and cruelty. Grey Raven, don't disrupt the team with the illusion of saving everyone. What do you mean? Seems like you guys have been spending too much time trying to rescue people out there. You don't know how many people will actually be able to keep up. I'm sure Liv can enlighten you. We can't take the wounded all at once. They also can't move quickly in the state that they're in, and our vehicles don't have the capacity for everyone. Are you planning to leave people behind if we run out of time? Yeah, starting with the Commandant. We're leaving the Commandant behind. Exactly, but only if time is of the essence. I don't want people's lives to be sacrificed in vain, but I don't want to risk the success of the mission. I'm surprised that Vanessa isn't willing to make sacrifices. Maybe she's had some off-screen character development? And I don't want this to be a point of contention between us. Anything that you're not happy about, or are you still expecting your Commandant to regain consciousness and come up with some big-brain solution that won't require anyone to be sacrificed? Yeah, that does seem to be the Commandant's specialty. If not, I'll be the active Commandant here. This is the only way we can save the most lives. If worse comes to worse, who do you think is most likely to encounter danger? Me and Bambinada? Those refugees who still have the strength to run? Or that comatose Commandant of yours? Comatose Commandant. Forget it. After all, a puppet led by this Commandant will just shout, "I'll protect everyone," then rush in and die. No point in asking you. Okay, maybe I take back what I said about the off-screen character development. She's still the same. Oh, let's plan our next step. I still think it's necessary to evacuate the critically injured City 045 and City 046 first. You're right, if we have time, they should go first. If the healthy refugees leave first, then they may be left here for good. Looks like you've become well acquainted with the inferiority of humans. This doesn't make them inferior. Everyone just wants to live, so we need to plan. Whatever you say. The twins haven't made it to City 043 yet, but I've detected a large horde of hetero creatures from the north. 130 clicks? How much is one click? I know this is something that militaries say, but like how long is it exactly in meters in the metric system? They're headed right for us. ETA 8 hours. How many? Roughly over 100. Can we hold them off? No, if they've already grouped up, there are more than 100. I saw something similar in City 044. There's bound to be more beyond your detection range. There may be 10 or even 100 times more than that. If they found out where we're hiding, we won't be able to defend against such a large horde. Vanessa sneers to herself and eats the porridge in her cup, which had gone cold. Looks like we won't hold out until morning, so we should evacuate immediately. Understood, but I hope we proceed according to the plan. Evacuate the wounded first, then the other construct soldiers will escort those who can walk in an orderly manner, so that they can receive help from other stranded elite teams as soon as possible. It's 1 kilometer. Okay. Alright, thank you. I guess, yeah, where are Cerberus and Strikehawk? I think they mentioned it before, but, you know, if we run into them on the way, they can help. Some of the wounded can leave on the transport vehicles. After all, your Commandant only needs 1 seat. But I advise you to give up on the latter. Strikehawk and Cerberus are in the same situation as us. Oh, guess they can't help. So much for that. There'll be more survivors in a base with doctors, but the team won't be able to transfer the influx of wounded. A click is a single kilometer. Oh, kilometer, click. Okay, I think I get it. If none of the wounded has survived, this wouldn't be an issue. Please don't say something like that. As I said, there are going to be sacrifices along the way. You don't expect the hetero creatures to wait for you to take your time evacuating everyone, do you? Unwilling to accept such a dire consequence, they have no choice but to accept the reality that they cannot change the status quo. How many vehicles are left? Including the vehicles we recovered over the past few days from the destroyed conservation areas, we have 3 left. Hurry up and get your Commandant into protective gear. Leaving the room where Vanessa and the Commandant are located to begin preparations, they're met with an unexpected scene outside. People have already packed their scarce bags of luggage. As Grey Raven exits the room, the refugees look at them coldly. Where's everyone going? We're going to the Forsaken space. Oh, yeah, the Forsaken. Oh, I guess they're pretty far away, huh? I actually completely forgot about Unc Watanabe's group. There's no way you can make it there on foot. So I'm going to borrow your rescue vehicles. Why are you leaving all of a sudden? I know you won't tell us the truth. Seeing you all sneak around like that, I took advantage of the noise outside to eavesdrop on your conversation. What did you hear? Babylonia has stopped sending aid. I heard that construct say it. He points at Lee's terminal as if stating the obvious. We were just going over possible scenarios with the others. I didn't think anyone had the nerve to eavesdrop on us. Doesn't matter. I knew it was only a matter of time. There have been numerous incidents in the neighboring conservation areas, and since Babylonia has hung us out to dry and those damn twins are wandering around City 041 again, we don't want to stay here and await death. Where's everyone going? Bingo, huh? The 3 vehicles are up and running, and we've got the protective gear, boss. Let's go. Please don't take the vehicles. We need them to evacuate the critically wounded. What are we supposed to do then? Not like we can make it there on foot. Won't you be better off with the wounded when we're gone? You'll have more room and it'll be quieter. Seems like they don't know about the hetero creatures and the twins headed right for us. 3 vehicles can't hold 172 people. How are you going to deal with corrupted and hetero creatures if you get attacked? Outnumber them? The crowd falls silent for a moment before whispering amongst each other. That's why we need to leave before they swarm us. Scavengers like us have our own ways of operating. Leave the rest to us. Please don't. Everything we've done is to ensure as many people can survive as possible. Liv hesitates for a few seconds, but decides that it's best to inform everyone of the current situation to avert confusion. The refugees had always believed that they had the right to know what was happening. A time like this requires everyone to work together to solve the problem. What would happen if they made a decision without knowing the danger? Liv can't even bear the thought of it. Please, listen. I just detected a horde of hetero creatures approaching from the north. They'll be here in 8 hours. Also, the twins already left City 041 and have made it to City 042. We need to evacuate the wounded immediately. If you take the vehicles, we won't be able to evacuate the wounded on foot. If the hetero creatures break through our defenses, they'll enter the basement and kill the wounded. Hearing this, the whole basement becomes speechless. The middle-aged leader looks around the crowd in silence. He contemplates for a few seconds, then turns to face Liv. We'll take your word for it, considering you've taken care of us and the wounded all this time. Saying this, he pauses for several more seconds. After hearing no objection, he continues to speak. Since you're willing to be so honest, I'll make concessions to the constructs and wounded. The crowd erupts in outcry, led by the shrill voices of several refugees. Leave the wounded here, not like they'll survive much longer if we take them anyway. I don't want to die here. There's no way I can walk all the way there. The refugee leader remains silent among the crowd's protests until several others strong-arm their way in front of him. Boss, what's wrong? You're not wounded. You've just been hungry for a few days and now you can't walk? No way. Besides, she said those monsters will be here in 8 hours. How can we run past those monsters? If they don't come, what about those wandering outside? We're armed and there's a lot of us. We can handle ourselves as long as there aren't too many. He's right, Doctor. We wanted to take the vehicles because our people are too exhausted to walk. Given the emergency, we should give priority to the wounded that can't walk, but we weren't just going to drive away carelessly. I think it's raining outside. Hopefully this does not result in a blackout. But it doesn't sound like it's heavy rain, so we should be good. If someone falls along the way, they'll slow the rest of us down. We'll be sitting ducks if we get attacked. I understand. Are you at least willing to leave any vehicles? How about this? He raises his voice over the crowd's discussion. We'll take the smallest vehicle to carry everyone's luggage and for people to rest when needed. The other two are rescue vehicles, so they're more suitable for transporting the wounded. That way, we can guarantee our safety to a certain extent, while also not disregarding the lives of others. The crowd gradually falls silent, but concerns still remain. But those hetero creatures will be here in 8 hours. There's no way we can outrun them on foot. Even if we take all 3 vehicles, 043 is safe, you can come back. I wish you had rain. 44 degrees. Power is out. Power is out where you are, Rojak. Oh, shit. And 44 degrees. Oof. I hope power comes back on for you quick. Who knows? Maybe once I run out of power, once I actually get a blackout here, your power might come back on, maybe? Seems reasonable. It's the nearest city with a direct road and minimal corrupted wandering around there. He deliberately raises his voice as if speaking to the crowd behind him. But if everyone going wears protective gear, there won't be enough for the wounded. There's also a warehouse at City 045 with a small filtration device. I'm not sure it's strong enough to guarantee safety, but anyone with normal level protective gear should do just fine there. Correct, that's where we'll take some of the wounded. I'm glad you have power. Gonna steal your power. Otherwise, heat would have killed me. Yeah, it does feel like we've been in Satan's oven for the past month, huh? We'll take the rest of the wounded to the conservation area in City 046. They should still have enough room to take us in. City 046, those crazy bastards are just as dangerous as corrupted, but you're right. There's not much they can do against constructs. Then it's settled. She slowly walks out of the room. It's as if she's been listening the whole time. Together with her is Bambinata, who now resembles an old doll. We should hurry. Oh, we're not gonna show Bambinata? Wait, we're not finished here. Going there on foot is going to take a while. As close as City 044 is, we might not even be able to cross City 043's borders in 8 hours. How big is this city? Rojak, without power, you can't protect anything, let alone yourself. If you want it, then you'll have to take it. But you already knew that. I accept that the doctor genuinely wants us to leave the vehicles here to save the wounded, but I'm not so sure about you. You're standing in as the temporary commandant here, right? I don't know what their commandant is normally like, but I have an idea based on the others in Grey Raven. But you are just the potential commandant. He forces a sneer. People like you put human lives on one side of the scale and your own personal interests on the other. We've only been stuck here together for a month, but I know your type. If you evacuate with the wounded, who's to say you won't abandon them and guarantee your own safety? I'm just trying to save the most lives. Given our current situation, we don't have enough time and materials to save everyone. Sacrifices will have to be made. What about that wounded deadweight? Human lives aren't equal. If you had to choose between a cracked jewel or some pebble in a muddy ditch, which would you choose? As expected from one of Babylonia's officers, you bastards are just putting a price on our heads, just like what they did during the Great Evacuation. Sensing a fight about to break out between both sides, Liv wants to rush forward and say something, but she's stopped by Lee before she can do anything. Lee's like, nah. They're cooking. Let them at her. Quiet down, Lawson. This great evacuation is in our hands now. The 3 cars outside are ours. If you want the 2 rescue vehicles, you have to listen to us. Try and take them by violence. 1 shot from my gun here and they'll be gone. Are you sure you want that? See, Vanessa, they were willing to give us 2 out of the 3 vehicles. And already you opened your mouth and already they took it back. They took it back. Well then, what is it? Let Vanessa cook. Lee was like, no, let the refugees cook. Vanessa. Let them cook, Vanessa. Let our people in the wounded retreat first. And you and the other constructs stay here to stop the incoming attack. In any case, 2 cars aren't enough for everyone. They'll take the wounded and then come back for us. We won't have made it far at this point. You want them to come back? That's right. I'm sure the doctor and her team will be able to escort the wounded and return safely. Once everyone has retreated safely, you and that unconscious commandant of yours can leave. I can have the other constructs escort you and leave together. I don't trust you. You'll just call them off whenever you get the chance. So as we are with all the wounded, we'll be targeted before we make it out of City 043. As opposed to me ordering them to pick me up first when you hand over the vehicles. We'll have our eyes on you. You'll leave only when all the wounded have been evacuated first. Can't even find something good. You could try the games that I've already played so far on the stream. I liked most of them. Even if Grey Raven chooses to listen to you, I can leave with my puppet anytime I want. But that'd be a death sentence, going out there on foot, just the 2 of you. You don't want to give up that cracked jewel of yours, do you? Fine, I'll take up the rear. Quit wasting time and get out of here. Nessa, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I hear that line in John Cena's voice. Get back here ASAP, otherwise it's going to be our funerals. One more thing. You, what's your name? She points to the construct beside her and beckons. My name's Sandra, Commandant Vanessa. Sandra, go be one of their drivers. I'm sure there are going to be plenty of surprises along the way, given how many corrupted and hetero creatures are coming this way. Understood. Let's get going, Liv. And his name is John Cena. I'll leave the evacuation plan up to you. You're more clear on the situation with the wounded. Got it. We'll evacuate the critically wounded and some of the less severely wounded first. It's going to be difficult to take that many people all at once, given how big the stretchers are. Liv opens her medical log and quickly examines the list of wounded. The log hasn't been updated recently, but the current situation is clearly printed in Liv's mind. The 8 critically wounded, Nagayuki, Kanata, and Lindsay, need to stay behind for the time being. I thought Lindsay died, though. No? Did I misunderstand? Was Jin crying over nothing? The first 2 need Vanessa to maintain stable minds, while Lindsay's wounds can't withstand the crowded and bumpy vehicles, so she needs to be carried away separately on a stretcher with stabilizers once all other construct soldiers have gathered. The one the Commandant used? Well, the Commandant doesn't need it now. As for Mr. Tally, I don't know if he'll agree to go. The old man who wasn't eating after being diagnosed with cancer? Let me ask him. Blindfolded, become a driver? Yep. Oh, I thought Vanessa meant like she had to be one of the guards, not the driver. Yeah, if you want to drive, take out the blindfold first. Even if he doesn't agree to go, we still need space for 4 more people. These people alone will take up 2 cars. At most, they can take the little girl with them. They can make do in the crowded vehicle if we get there fast enough. Let's make some supports between stretchers so we can put them closer together without being cramped. Good idea. but there's still only enough room for 4 stretchers. We can only fit a few more sitting down. He's in a coma. Ah, okay. I'll leave it to you then, Lee. He nods and makes his way to the warehouse. As for the second vehicle, she thumbs through the records on her terminal and makes a new list. They don't need stretchers, but even then, they need to be separated due to their wounds. Even if some people lie under the seats or sit on the legs of those who aren't injured, we can't squeeze them in. Not to mention, our vehicles haven't been modified, so they can't be overloaded, right? Exactly. How many more people do we need to take? We still have 47 wounded. No, counting the new arrivals over the past few days, that makes 62 people. But the second car can only carry 17. With 4 people in the first car, that means we can only take 21 people in a single trip. That's fine. There's still some hope if we can make another trip. But there are still several other critically injured and our commandant that need to go on the next trip. Since they're making multiple trips, I wonder if the vehicles are like, electricity. Run on electricity instead of fuel, instead of gas. Because I'm pretty sure there's no gas stations during the apocalypse in the world of PGR, so their vehicles have to be electric, I think. Solar, maybe? That means there's no time for hesitation. We'll need to make a third trip. Yeah, let's call everyone. Okay. Lucia walks to the basement. After a short time, some wounded refugees limp out following her. Liv. Since Fantine's name's on the first list, she steps out of the crowd and greets Liv with a smile. Thank you, Liv, but I want to give up my spot. She looks at the crowd and rubs her belly. It's too crowded for me, and I haven't decided if I want to bring my child into this cruel world. Oh, I need some time to think. After you leave, the wounded here also need to be looked after. My medical knowledge obviously doesn't compare to yours, but... Ah, right, she's a nurse. I can still help. Can you take the child I brought with me instead? The wound on his back is still serious, and he needs some room. Okay. Oh, and Shrek wants to speak with you. Shrek! He greets Liv, pretending to be relaxed. Let me go with you. I'll sit on the roof so I don't take up any space. Besides, if any of the wounded sit up there, they'll most likely fall down, right? Are you sure? It's dangerous up there. Don't worry, I'll hold on tight. You said you want to evacuate to a warehouse in City 045, but is there a doctor there to take care of them? Or are you going to stay there with them? In the world of PGR, they had cold fusion. Ah, before the punishing virus, so they didn't have gas stations. Ah, I see. I thought, like, the 0-point reactor thing was supposed to be, a new source of energy until it created the punishing virus. So, like, if they don't have the 0-point energy stuff, then I thought that they go back to the old energy sources. But yeah, it looks like they have an answer for everything at this point. No, that's what I've been worried about. So someone should be there to look after them, right? I'm no doctor, but I've learned a thing or two about first aid recently. Got that right. A friend of mine made me realize how important it is. If you don't trust me, I can have the Forsaken send a doctor over. That way I can continue on my way and deliver the serum. They can't possibly refuse, right? 0-point energy. Rural areas have them though, like deserts and stuff. Ah, so I guess the Forsaken would have that. Okay, thank you. Good idea. We should also try to get support from Watanabe. Yeah, from Unk. If only the Commandant was still conscious. We could use the Commandant to pull some strings. Having finished assembling the stretchers, Lee appears behind the 3 of them with a frowning face. I know what you're worried about, but Babylonia cut off communication. Who knows, maybe we'll end up joining the Forsaken. She looks up at the dim sky, suddenly getting lost in a memory. Unk Watanabe will be our new boss! 0-point energy was a win. More button. And they paid the price. And they were punished for it. I understand why they made this decision, and I don't think it was out of greed or malice, but we're on our own now. I'm used to that by now. Yeah, Lucia's used to getting betrayed by Babylonia. You guys talk things over. Want me to get... Oh, what? Want me to get the wounded? Feeling the gravity of their words, he waves and quickly runs back to the basement. Oh, Liv, Callie said he's not going with the others. Really? I understand. Guess Lucia couldn't get the old man to change his mind, huh? They tried to be God, but instead they lost their home. When you fly too close to the sun, your wax wings will melt. Over 10 minutes later, thanks to everyone's efforts, the first group is already in position. People are crowded together, but not so cramped that the wounded are crushed. Everything's ready, let's go. I'll deal with the hetero creatures along the way. Liv, take care of the wounded. Lee and Sandra and the other constructs take care of the driving. Lee nods and furrows his eyebrows anxiously. He starts the engine, causing the siren on the rescue vehicle and an alarm from the dashboard speakers to blare. Leave! Lee, no! We don't want to let the twins know where we are! No need for sirens! I stroke his wings. Icarus, do you know how many people IRL are trying to make cold fusion a reality? Bunch of idiots. Have they not watched movies? Alert, vehicle overloaded. Please drive safely and in accordance with the law. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I know some people are trying to bring dinosaurs back, even though we have multiple Jurassic Park movies. The anxiety in Lee's inner brow increases noticeably. He quickly unscrews the cover of the speaker and adeptly cuts the alarm circuit, silencing the noise. Let's get going. Did you have to tell the twins that we're leaving? Lee, how could you?
I'll be your wings, Commandant. Your orders, please.
Commandant. Lucia, the wandering hetero creatures nearby are coming over. The vehicles are overloaded. We can't move fast enough to get rid of them. I'll try my best to clear out the enemies on the path. You go as fast as you can. For safety considerations, we'll stop the vehicles for defense if we run into enemies on the way. The vehicles are already wrecked and most of the wounded can't move. I understand, so we have to make it quick. But did you die? Is there someone who didn't seal them? They're mandatory. Go after them. Hello, hetero bugs. Ow. Wait. Ah! Lucia, duck!
Out of the way. Blue, be my blade.
Wing! Protect the incoming vehicles. Nah! Fish! Fish! Now! Get back here, fish! Okay. The vehicles have been caught. Lucia, they're hetero sapiens we saw before. Hold on, I'm handling the fish. Oh no, the fish didn't disappear. I thought the fish disappeared. No, stay away, stay away. Ah, 90%. Sorry, I'm hitting the vehicles. Wait, can I actually die here?
Is this all I have?
Lucia, don't die. Okay, one vehicle has moved. Fish! Okay, two vehicles have moved. We've eliminated the enemies ahead. There are still some behind us. Keep moving, I'll handle them.
Is this all I have? Be my blade.
Ow! What are these roly-polies? Ow! Stop it. Ah!
Out of the way.
Yeah.
Is this all I have?
Wait, did more appear? I thought I got rid of them. That's not fair. Ow.
Out of the way. Blue, be my blade.
I wasted that ult. You guys dare? Don't give you brain damage. We find a hetero B. Does that mean all of them are queens? It's over. Are you guys all right there? Just some minor injuries. I'll handle it. Okay, I'm moving towards you.
If only this were the last, Commandant.
If only I was the last commandant. You want to get rid of Vanessa and Simon? City 045 West Warehouse, 3:41 a.m. Leaving the conservation area in City 043, they cross past several collapsed roads and buildings attacked by the corrupted and hetero creatures, until finally arriving at their destination in City 045, 5.5 hours later. Watanabe's situation isn't looking good either, but at least they promised to send a doctor, and even offered to take in some refugees if the situation takes a turn for the worse. Thanks for letting me use your terminal. Shrek terminates the call and hands the terminal back to Lee. You said you were going to call the Forsaken to send someone over, but you obviously didn't have a way of reaching them. I did just now, didn't I? He points at Lee's terminal matter as if stating the obvious. People need to rely on each other to survive in this world, so we can't just think about what we have. At a time like this, even more so. But you like giving brain damage, he gestures to Lee, who gives him a dull look. Want any more platitudes? I've got a hundred of them. Just be more prepared next time before making promises. Considering how many accidents we've had recently, what would you have done if you couldn't reach them? Nonsense, I trust you guys. It's fine, Lee. Doesn't matter whose terminal he uses as long as everything works out. How are things with you, Liv? I checked everyone's vitals and rebandaged everyone's wounds that opened up from all the bumps along the way. Sorry for writing in your book, Shrek. She returns the book titled Comfort for the Soul back to Shrek, now full of medical notes. It's okay, books are used for recording information. I've gotten what I need from it anyway. Also, Akane, I know I promised to make an identical rabbit doll for you, but it's okay, Miss Liv, I understand. I only had time to make you a small one on the way here. If I return to City 043's conservation area, I'll make another one for you, okay? Really? Thanks. Alright, let's go back and get the other wounded. You're not going to tell us how you're doing? Huh? You mean my leg? I can manage. But what's with all the vital fluid? I already rebandaged it. I'm good to go. If you can't take it anymore, let me know. I'll carry you. Okay, thank you, Lucia. Oh, when is the Forsaken Doctor going to be here? A day or so. We're not exactly close. If that's the case, you'll have to care for the wounded until then. I need to go back and escort the rest of the wounded. Okay, I'll take it from here. You should get going. Still just in part 1? Okay. Wait, this is the right one, right? Okay. The Stayed Behind. Oh, we're going into Vanessa's POV. Oh, right, hydrate. Ah! City 043 Conservation Area Basement, 3 a.m. Nearly 5 hours have passed since Liv and the others set out. All refugees still able to move freely have been evacuated. They've walked for 5 hours, but they still have not managed to evacuate the conservation area in City 043 due to the overall speed of the crowd. The horde of hetero creatures headed this way is estimated to enter the conservation area, according to their scheduled arrival in 3 hours. There are only a few dozen people left in the enclosed basement. All the constructs stationed in the conservation area are on the surface, leaving the refugees anxiously waiting for news from Grey Raven. Vanessa sits alone in the dark room monitoring the trajectory of the hetero creatures on a large number of hollow screens and sending intel to Babylonia with no response. You want a light game to play? Have you tried the game that Deceitful Hound mentioned? Hotline Miami? Hotline Bling? Hotline something? I think you could try that. Or if you want something light, I don't know. I think the games that I tried on stream have all been light, you know. None of them really required much commitment. Vanessa sits alone in the dark room, monitoring the trajectory of the hetero creatures on a large number of hollow screens and sending the intel to Babylonia with no response. Following that, she recalculates the tactical deployment of constructs in the conservation area and the best evacuation route for Grey Raven based on the enemy's new trajectory. Light Dream. Toho. Luna Night. Around 6 hours. After completing her work, she stands up from the screens and walks up to the sick bed nearby. Ah, Chief. She smiles mockingly, then sits beside the bed. If you knew your recklessness would have this outcome, would you still have done what you did? Vanessa gently strokes your ear as if waiting for an answer. Let me guess, you'd say, I'll sacrifice everything to protect my comrades, huh? She gives herself a smile of self-mockery, then slowly moves her fingers down your ear and puts her hand firmly on your throat. Damn, Lee, Liv, and Lucia have only left for what, 10 minutes and already are trying to kill me? I'm sure you'd be disgusted right now, seeing yourself like this. So weak and fragile that you can't even push my hand away, like a candle in the wind, all for just a couple of puppets. What do you think the instructor who praised you so highly would say now, seeing you like this? You're the only one who still cares about what our high school teachers think, Vanessa. She leans down and whispers softly in your ear. Her fragrant aroma seems at odds with the musty smell of the basement. Fragrant aroma? Did she bring, what's it called? Did she bring some kind of perfume with her while on the mission? I mean, you know what? Fair enough. I guess maybe Vanessa thinks she stinks, so she needs the perfume to cover it up. He'd definitely take back what he said. A fool like you can't even protect yourself. Vanessa quietly looks at your closed eyes. Your malnourished face from having battled illness for so long looks even more lifeless under the dim lights. Disgusting. Disgusting! Even if you were awake, the people who've only seen your face plastered on the screens after the Atlantis incident wouldn't even recognize you. Even though her mockery falls on deaf ears, she still continues her senseless behavior. Senseless? More like bitchless? Fatherless? Why are you talking to someone who's in a coma? Why are you insulting a coma patient? Looks fine. Regardless, I wasn't wrong. Before this disaster happened, I saw you as a rival that must be defeated. A futile illusion. But now, what a joke. You know, I could kill you right now. Her grip on your throat suddenly tightens, then relaxes. She smiles and covers your pallid skin with her warm palm. But what's the point? Before you went into a coma, I looked at your selfless naivete with contempt. I figured you'd quickly lose in battle and realized that your starry-eyed view of the world didn't conform to reality. This wasn't exactly quick. Maybe now you'll see the world for what it really is. Your neck remains ice cold despite her warm palm. She lifts a finger and checks your pulse. Such a simple battle nearly cost you your life, Chief. What exactly distracted you? Or did I waste my time focusing on you so much? You don't deserve to be Chief, let alone a role model and a goal for others. She slowly gets up, then looks at a hollow screen and a fold-up mirror next to it. The hetero creatures will be here in 3 hours. If Grey Raven isn't back by then, you're a goner. Bambinada and I can get out of here whenever we want. She combs her hair in the reflection of the mirror again, but the look in her eyes doesn't match the delicate gesture. Her gaze is wandering and vacant. Hotline Miami. Yep, that's the one. I know this isn't exactly what a commandant should do. Alpha West College teaches us to always fight the enemy and protect as many people as we can. The lonely murmur echoes throughout the empty room. As before, no one responds. But the battlefield isn't so merciful. Not everyone can be saved, no matter who you are, Chief. Do you know what's better than Hotline Miami? Garlic bread. As long as people die, their reputation, rights, or those ridiculous bonds are dust in the wind. Hotline Miami too. Wrong number. You get nothing, and the people you protected will soon forget you. Vanessa walks to the simple square table full of hollow screens, but leaves a mote of attention to you laying behind her. He turns around once more and looks at the unchanged bed. Hotline Miami doesn't look like your type of game. Fair enough. For the PS Vita, you can feel the bullets on your fingers. Available on Steam. You stupid and naive piece of trash. You're only respected by so many people because they're lost in their own ideals. Now you have no one to count on. Let me tell you how to maximize the value of survivors. I don't need to know how to look specs from you. How to survivor max. 4:30 a.m. Okay, I think I'll stop the stream after this note because I can already feel myself not being able to read no more. My tongue is tied. An hour and a half before the hetero creatures enter the conservation area, Commandant Vanessa and the 4 constructs stationed in the conservation area have all gone to the surface to prepare for combat. In the enclosed basement, Commandant Kasha... Grey Raven Commandant, it's so weird to say my own name. 41 soldiers with minor wounds and mobility issues and the 4 critically wounded patients, Nagayuki, Kanata, Lindsay, and Kali still remain. Aside from them, there is another surprising refugee. Oh, the kids! What are you looking at? Never seen anyone fall on the stairs before? No, it's not that. And the doggo. The boy should have evacuated with the first group, but he snuck into the warehouse on the third floor underground and accidentally slipped on the stairs, hitting his head and spraining his ankle. He'd been unconscious for over an hour, completely out of sight, despite being woken up by matches. He'd missed the opportunity to leave with the first group of refugees. Why is your dog going into the warehouse at a time like this? Matches probably just smelt someone in there. What about you? What were you doing there? I was just checking to see if that mud had gone into the warehouse. Even if that meant not making it out with the others on time? I was just going to take a peek. He rubs the back of his head and his sprained ankle. My lips are so dry right now. Hold on. You guys can't see it, but Aang is lying on his back. Like, just straight up, he's lying like... He's sleeping right now, but he's sleeping like a person. On his back, with all four paws, like starfish style. He's adorable. He's just dead to the world. He can't even hear me laughing at him. There's a bookmark button. Button. Yeah, I know I can stop midway, but it won't feel right. It won't feel complete. You don't believe me, do you? Why are you being so defensive? Because your mutt ate all of my cans. My friend gave me those before he died. He risked everything to get his hands on those, but your dumb mutt ate them. Being reminded of the past, the boy chokes back tears. I already told you Mattis didn't do anything. Look at the doggo. Who cares what you say? I only believe what I saw. I wouldn't have gone in there if that stupid conservation was safe. They said we should all be in the same boat, then took all my cans and allowed someone like you to get in. They're a bunch of robots. Or I think they're robots. For in Hotline Miami? I thought I could use those cans to find my big bro. The boy falls onto an empty sickbed and starts to cry. It's a really long chapter, right, Grandma? Yeah, I gotta keep myself hydrated and my lips as well. They also need to be moisturized. They're just wearing gas masks. Oh, they're not... I thought you were talking about Hotline Miami again. No. These two aren't robots. They're humans wearing gas masks. You know, because of the punishing virus. Look at this Fire Nation Scarecrow being adorable. He can't get away with this. Fire Nation Scarecrow? You have a big brother? Yeah, he's the best big bro in the entire world. Honestly, this guy, with his colors, looks like Kalis and still. The boy sobs and takes out a shabby journal from his jacket pocket. Half of the pages had fallen out, and the rest are barely clinging on with layers of tape. He'd tell me stories every day and draw me whatever I wanted. He gently rubs the few remaining pages, which are covered with an assortment of vivid drawings. Roasted chicken, new clothes, an entire house, a bed, a soccer ball or garden, and even a kind-looking woman. Below the pictures, there's the same phrase, repeated over and over. Can you read? A bit. How about you? That's nice. My mom taught us a bit before she died, but Bro and I forgot. He tries to stop crying and sniffling, then points to the writing beside the kind woman. Bro said we can write our wishes in it, and Mommy will make our wishes come true up in heaven. Heard someone call Aang that in some episode long ago. Oh, okay. So that's a... You were making a joke in relation to my cat. Oh, Aang has moved now. He's now curled up. Still cute though. Still adorable. Look, Mom told us to just write this beside each picture and Mom will hear our wishes. Stanley looks to where the boy is pointing but discovers that it isn't some magical spell. Sorry. What? Sorry I brought you into this world. What'd you say? Stanley opens his mouth to explain the meaning of the dense handwriting but lowers his head silently, as if noticing something. Nothing. I just zoned out there for a second is all. I've never shown this to anyone, and you just get distracted. Sorry. Anyway, why are you showing me this? Because you saved me. He awkwardly covers his face with a blanket and curls up. Forget it. What's the point of telling someone without any family? Anyway, your dog only found me because he was trying to steal food. Magic didn't. Stop going after the doggo. Shut up. I know already. I've been watching you for the past few days. I know it now. Perhaps he was beginning to sense the truth. At least that's how Stanley interprets his response. He knows he wrongly accused Stanley but can't admit his mistake and doesn't apologize. Go to sleep. Anxiously rolling over in bed, he winces in pain from the injuries on his head and ankle. Alright. Stanley stops speaking. He looks up into the basement and imagines what's happening outside the window. But right as he wants to lie down on the empty bed and get some rest, he hears a heart-rending cry from the other side of the basement. No, don't go, Lindsay! Oh, Lindsay gone. Lindsay went. Lindsay go now. In this sad cry, another person wandering in the twilight falls to the cold embrace of eternal night. How much longer until daybreak? Oh, that was way shorter than these two. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. I can already feel myself not being able to read no more. We still have like 2 more parts left. It's okay. I'm sure I can do this. I can finish chapter 17 eventually. It will happen. Alright, so that should be it for now, everyone. So, Rojak, Spirit, Mike, Motivated Alpha, Deceitful Hound, Sticks, Spirit, if you guys are all still there. Micro as well, Dyer, thank you again for joining me tonight for part 2 of chapter 15. I guess I will see you guys again tomorrow for part 3. Killing User, you too, thank you as well for joining me tonight. Alright, everyone. Hey, listen still. No, really think HSR inspired PGR a lot. Yeah, they inspired HSR inspired PGR so much 7 years ago. Eventually, I'll finish it. Yeah. Dire Spirit Sticks, thank you again. Mike, Rojak, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your night. I'm gonna go and call Miss Editor, and I will let her rant to me about everything that's happening in Love and Deep Space. Thank you again, everyone. I hope you all take good care of yourselves. Alright, have a good night. Have a good day. Goodbye. Take care. Take care, kids. Bye-bye. See you. Bye. Bye, Rojak. Bye, Mike. Bye, Sticks. Bye-bye, Gyre. Bye, Spirit. See you.